Hey you all, Mosu hi to fellow dressmakers. You're welcome to another interesting tutorial. My name is Confidence. In this video, I'll be showing you how I made this gown. I used the one on the right to make the one on the left. It's a one side butterfly gown and the other side is straight with an asymmetric neckline, and it also has zipper at the back. So the side that is straight has an A-line sleeve, as you can see, and then mine is a little bit different, as you can already tell, because first I added pocket because I like to, and then secondly I added belt on the waist area just to make the waist area a bit more fitted. So if you'd like to learn how to go about the cutting and the stitching of this gown, kindly watch this video to the end and let's get right into it. I use 4 yards of this fabric to make my gown, and you will need 3 to 4 yards depending on the height or the kind of fabric you're working with. Okay, then one important thing you should always consider anytime you want to cut your fabric is the textile design or the pattern of the fabric. Now, seeing this fabric alone, you already imagine how I'm supposed to fold or cut the fabric. But because of the length I'm going for, I want nothing less than 61 inches. It should even be more than 61. And the length of this fabric is just 58 inches. So if I want to just fold it this way, I would have to have a shortage of the length of the gown. So instead of that, I'll be folding it this way instead. Can you see that? So I'll just go ahead and fold it just in a bit so that you understand properly. Just something like this. Can you see? So instead of folding it lengthwise, I'll be folding widthwise. I hope that is clear enough. So now I'll go ahead and start taking the measurement, and I'll be cutting out the back part first. Then we'll use that to trace out for the front. I think it will be easier that way. So I'll simply go ahead and mark out 1 inch from the top all the way to the length of this gown, and that would serve as the zipper allowance. Then I'm going to roll it out. I'm sorry if you cannot see the markings. I tried using the white chalk and even the colored one, and it was still giving me the same effect. So just follow the explanation. Now from that zipper allowance line, I'll be taking in the shoulder measurement divided by 2. I'll mark it. Then I'll go down to the armhole. Then on that point again, I'll mark the shoulder measurement divide by 2 and connect it this way. Then I'll go ahead and cover the armhole just like this. The next thing I'll be doing now is to mark the standard neckline measurement of 3 inches. I'll just mark 3 inches from the zipper line. That's the zipper allowance line, right? Then I'll come to the shoulder line and come in by 1 inch and slant it to the neck width of 3 inches this way. Okay, that 1 inch will be the shoulder slope. Now I'm going to start from the shoulder line this way and go down to the waistline. I'll mark it this way. Then from this waistline now, I'll go down to 8 inches, which I'll be using as the hip line. Okay, if you use 9 inches, go ahead and go down to 9 inches. Then I'll come back to the armhole line and take the bust measurement divide by 4 plus extra 2 inches allowance. Okay, I'll come to the waist and take the waist measurement divide by 4 plus extra 2 inches allowance. I'll do the same thing on the hip line. The hip measurement divide by 4 plus extra 2 inches for is. Then whatever I have on the hip, I'm going to take it all the way to the length of this gown. Okay. Please do know that you're taking this measurement from the zipper allowance line we marked earlier. Okay. That 1 inch I marked as zipper allowance. From that line, I'll be taking all these measurements. So whatever I have now on the hip, I'm going to take it all the way down to the length of this gown. Go ahead and do the same thing. I mentioned earlier that the length of this gown is going to be 61 inches. Just go ahead and use your long gown length for yours, okay? Now the next measurement I'll be taking will be from this shoulder line. That's the shoulder measurement divided by 2, okay? We have marked the fitted part. Now we want to mark the butterfly part. So from that shoulder measurement divided by 2, I'll be marking my long sleeve length. So you basically measure from your shoulder all the way to your long sleeve length, right? That's where the butterfly will be sitting, okay? Then I will measure from that point all the way to the folded part of the fabric. And whatever measurement it is I have from that point, I'm going to take it all the way to the length of this gown, just so I have a uniform marking, okay? Just so it's going to be a straight line. When you mark the sleeve length, that's where the butterfly will be sitting. You're not going to measure all the way to the folded fabric. Like, place your measuring tape the same way you can see mine. And for my case, I have about 31 inches. So I'm going to take that 31 inches all the way to the length of this gown. And then I'm going to connect it the same way you see me do it. I apologize again for the marking, and I think it will make more sense after cutting it out. So I'm going to cut out following the marking, which only me can see. So after cutting out this straight part, I'll cut it out on the length. Then I'm going to cut out the neckline. So the back neckline I did 2.5 by 2 inches. Yeah, and I'm going to cut out the shoulder slope this way. This part is very important, so I'm going to just follow it all the way to the end of the butterfly part, just like this. Okay, then I'm going to take up this one and cut out the armhole, just as you can see me do it. Then cut out on the markings we did earlier. That's the side measurement. Okay, the bust measurement, the waist measurement, the hip measurement, and then I'm going to follow it straight onto the length of this gown. I can see the marking, right? And after cutting it out, this is what it looks like. I'm going to take out all the pins, then I'm going to pin it all, like pin on the zipper allowance line. I'm going to just hold it down following the zipper allowance line, and after that, this is what it looks like. So I'm going to spread the other fabric, not folded. Then I'm going to place the back on it just to have something like this. I'll try to show you what it looks like on all the sides, right? I don't know if you can see it, but the zipper allowance is not disturbing the measurement. So that's why we pinned it down and place it this way. So this is what it looks like on this end, and then this is what it looks like on this end. So I'm simply going to trace out everything I have here. Then when I get to the neckline, I will just go ahead and notch on the two sides of the neck width. Okay, you're not going to cut the neckline, you're simply going to notch on both sides just to indicate the neck width. So after cutting it out, you're going to fold it into two this way, not into two, but this part shouldn't be a struggle if you notched the neckline. Just go ahead and match up the neck notching, okay? And the other part will just, like, it won't be as if you folded it more than you should fold it, okay? So I'm going to do 2.5 again as the neck width, which I already notched. This neckline part will be opening it up. Okay, the neck depth is going to be 3 inches, but like I said, I'll be opening this up and show you how to go about it. But first, I'll go ahead and trim on the front armhole. This is the front armhole, right? Just so that when the sleeve goes in there, it's going to balance well and not be puffy on that point. Then I'm going to remove all this pin. You should also do the same thing, like pin it down when you fold, so that you confirm your measurements and know that you have the what you should have and it's aligning with the back part. Okay, so I'm going to mark on the neckline notch. Then from the midpoint, I'll be going down to 3 inches. Then from this other side, I'll be coming down to 5 inches. 5 inches works. You can also do 4 inches or 4.5. Then I'm going to first connect it straight to that 5 inches this way, and then I'll curve from this other side to meet the 5 inches like this. And that's it for the neckline. So if you noticed, the direction of the symmetric neckline is not supposed to be on this side that mine is. It's supposed to be going on this side that I'm cutting now. Can you see that? It's supposed to be going to that side and not this side if you are following the reference style. This is a mistake on my part, but it still works. Okay, so the symmetric neckline should be going to where you'll be fixing the sleeve and not the butterfly side. So after cutting it out, I'm going to place it on a fresh fabric this way just to cut out a facing. Okay, I'm going to trace out the neckline, and then the down part is going to be about 5 inches from the depth of the neckline. Okay, 5 inches. That will be the length of the facing. Then I'm going to trace out the neckline, the shoulder this way, right? And that's it for the facing. And after cutting the facing out, I'm going to place it right side facing right side this way, and then I'll go ahead and sew it all around. The next thing we'll be cutting now is the sleeve. So I had to join this fabric just so I have what I should have for the sleeve. Okay, so I'm going to fold it into two this way, right? Then I'm going to take note of the length of the sleeve. It should be the same length with the butterfly side, okay, if you are really being careful. So I'm going to measure from here all the way to 25. So the length of the sleeve is going to be your long sleeve length, like the longest of it. And then mine is 25. So on this other end, I'll be marking out what I usually use to cut out my sleeve. If you don't know how to go about it, you can simply just, whatever you use for your armhole length, you're going to add a 1 or 1.5. So I'm going to mark it out this way. Then I'll start from the top and come down to 4 inches and curve it. Just give it that basic sleeve curve, just like this. It's as simple as that, okay? But make sure whatever you have on this curve should go round your armhole. So whatever I have here now, I'm going to come to the down part and add extra 5 to 6 inches. Whatever you have from the armhole curve, like the sleeve curve, you're going to come to the length of the sleeve and add between 4 to 8 inches, depending on how wide you want the sleeve to be. But I added extra 5.5 to mine. Okay, then I'm going to come up here by 1.5 and then make sure I have what I should have, like the wideness of the sleeve on that point. Then I'm going to curve it this way and cut it out. The sleeve is very simple. Following this method is just very easy to go about. So I'm going to cut out this way, and while cutting, I'll be adding extra 1 inch as the folding allowance, and that's it for the sleeve. Now we'll go ahead and start joining, and I'll be starting with the back. So for the back, I've gone ahead to open up the zipper allowance, and if you can notice, I didn't slit it all the way to the end. I stopped somewhere around the hip line because that's where I want the zipper to stop. So later on, I'll be closing it using the dart method. So I'm going to start big and end small. And then I'll fix the zipper on the other space. So now for the bias piping, I didn't have enough bias to do this. I wanted to, but I didn't have enough black nor white to do the piping. But you're going simply going to follow this same method. You first sew on the wrong side, then you're going to turn it to the right side, right? And then you top stitch on the bias. Or better still, you just fold the bias into two and then just slide in the fabric, like the where you want to pipe, and top stitch on the bias. Whatever way you use to pipe, just go ahead and use the same method to pipe all the butterfly part. So far this is what I have. I'm gonna have to fix the zipper, and I use bias to pipe the neckline or to turn the neckline for the back. Can you see that? Then I also fixed the pocket on this side. I notched on the waistline just so I know where to fix the pocket and know how to fix it on the other part, like the front part. Then I turned out this belt that will be going to the waistline. So you're going to place it this way. I want it to start from the waist up. So I'm going to place it on the part where I notched on the waistline. That's where the pocket starts, right? Then I'm going to stitch it this way. Make sure the belt is coming to the center back. That's just how to describe it. Then you're going to pin it down and then you're going to stitch on it. Now, I'm gonna have to also turn the neckline for the front. Can you see that? Now, a bias is supposed to be coming to the neckline, which I also did not do. But in case you want to do it, you're simply going to pipe the neckline first, and then you just stitch 2 inches from the neckline inwards, okay? Then your plique will be going to the other side, just as curvy as it is on the reference style. But another way you can do it is also to cut out something like a cape for the neckline. So you're going to place your the neckline on a fresh fabric this way, and then you're going to trace out the neckline and go in about 2 inches from here, like 2 inches. Then you're going to do the height of the cape, like 2 inches, and then you also pipe that part with bias and stitch it on the neckline. That part is really simple if you want to go about it, but I didn't do it. Like I said, I didn't have enough bias. So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and place the back part on the front part, and then I'm going to turn the shoulder this way. You use the facing that we used for the front to turn the shoulder, and then you also do the same thing for the other side. And after that, this is what it looks like. Can you see? And this is the other part. So the this thing did not get all the way to the other end, and that's okay. Now I'm going to fix the sleeve, and before fixing the sleeve you can decide to stitch down the fashion fabric and the facing, just so you won't have to struggle with it. Okay, then I'm going to bring in the sleeve this way. I'll match up the midpoint to midpoint, just as you can see me do it here, and stitch it on both sides. Now I've gone ahead to hem the down part of the sleeve, which you should use your bias on. You should pipe the hem of the sleeve with your bias, because that's how it is on the reference style. But since I'm not doing the bias part, I'm just simply going to fix the sleeve and close the fitted part of the gown, just to have something like this. Okay, so I've gone ahead to fix the sleeve and close the side with just half inch. And now we are going to do the final measurement. So this is how I close the sleeve, just so I will have a neat work, because I don't have a serger here, and I'm not even where I could even take it to people that weave. So I just did it this way, so that when you peep through the sleeve, it will not be rough, it will be neat inside. So now from this part, this closed part, now I'm going to take the bust measurement, divide by 2 plus extra 1 inch. So I'll mark the bust measurement, divide by 2 plus 1 inch. Then I'm going to measure from the shoulder to the same thing I used as the armhole for the other side. Okay, I'll mark it, and that is where I'll be marking the initial measurement I took. That's the bust measurement divided by 2, right? Then I'll come to the waist and take the waist measurement divided by 2. Make sure you're doing that on the waistline. Divide by 2 plus extra 1 inch for ease. Depending on how much ease you want, you can do 2 inches. Then I'm going to connect it to the bust measurement this way. Now I'll go down to the hip line and take the hip measurement, divide by 2 plus extra 1 inch for ease. Then whatever it is I have on the hip line, I'm going to take that all the way to the down. Okay, I have 19 inches, so I'm going to mark the 19 inches all the way to the down. So before I get to the down, I'll be measuring about 13 inches. Yeah, 13 plus 1 inch, and that would be for folding allowance. So basically I came up 14 inches. Then on that point, I'll make sure I have the hip measurement divided by 2 plus the ease. So I'm going to stitch it this way, just from the bust measurement to that 14 inches I came up. Then I'll stop. The other part will be the slit. Okay, then I'm going to hem the down part of the gown, and that's it for the gown. So after stitching, this is what it looks like. I've just gone ahead to stitch it the same way I said I would stitch it. I'll stitch it from the bust all the way to the 14 inches I came up from the hem. That's like the slit. Stop from where the slit starts, and that's it. Now the next thing I'll be doing now is fixing the belt to the other side of the gown. I already have the belt, one of the belt on the fitted part. So I'm going to measure from the shoulder to the waistline, like where the belt starts. Then I'm going to come to this other side and measure it, and I'm making sure I'm measuring like the measurement is going to fall on where I close the gown with. I'm going to mark it, then I'll still try to make sure it's what I should have. And then I'm going to take the belt first. I'll place it this way, right, and stitch it with about 0.25, and after that I'll flip it this way, and then I'm going to top stitch on it, making sure that the initial stitches or the edge of the fabric is not showing. That is the sense of doing it this way, just so we cover up the rough edges. And that's it for the gown. Then I fitted the gown and the butterfly part is way too long. Like it's when I drop my hand, it will be sweeping the floor a lot. It's supposed to sweep the floor, right? But it was just a lot. So I'm going to pin it down this way, right? This is where the slit is. Then I'm going to come up on this side. This is the side part. I'll come up 5 inches. It will be 6 inches after hemming it back. Yeah, hemming it back. Then I'm going to just curve it this way, going to the center part of the gown. I hope that is clear. Going to the slit part of the gown. And please do know that this part is totally optional. I fitted mine before I noticed that I should do something like this just to salvage the situation. So if you fit yours and if you feel like trimming off a bit from the side, from the butterfly side, go ahead and do how much you want. So 5 inches is not standard. Or go ahead and hem it back, and this is what it looks like. So when I drop my hand this way, it's really sweeping the floor. That's why I had to take off 5 inches from the side. It's only when I raise up the hand that you notice that it's kind of streamed, and that's it. So this will be the end of our tutorial today. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you on my next one. Be good. Bye.